Even though the 2026 NFL Draft is less than a month away, it's never too early to start paying attention to collegiate athletes who will make big impacts during the 2026 college football season before they declare for the 2027 NFL Draft. Though some of these guys could have declared for the 2026 NFL Draft, sometimes these players just want to maximize their earning potential with NIL deals, improve their draft stock for the next NFL Draft, and to potentially avoid injuries that could derail their NFL careers before taking the field on Sundays. These college ball players should have a solid 2026 season and really make some noise. So, here are 10 college football players to pay attention to in the upcoming 2026 season for the 2027 NFL Draft. Arch Manning, quarterback, Texas. Despite losing 14-7 to Ohio State in the first week of the 2025 season, Manning pieced together a productive year in his first full season as a starter for the Longhorns, completing 248 passes for 3,163 yards, throwing 26 touchdowns against 7 interceptions, and leading the team to a 41-27 win over Michigan in the Citrus Bowl. With Manning returning to the Longhorns for the 2026 season, he should improve upon the mistakes that he shook off from the previous one. Manning and the Longhorns are also aiming to make a return to the college football playoff picture for the first time since the 2024 season. Manning should easily be able to lead the Longhorns to the college football playoffs, as well as become a Heisman Trophy finalist, depending on if he performs during the regular season. Manning will also have a blast working with wide receiver Cam Coleman, who transferred over from Auburn, giving him another weapon to utilize during key games against fierce SEC opponents. If Manning continues to show significant growth during the 2026 season, don't be surprised if he gets drafted first overall in the 2027 season by a quarterback-needy team, depending on how the 2026 NFL season shapes up. Jeremiah Smith, wide receiver, Ohio State. The Ohio State University is widely considered to be wide receiver U, as we've seen incredible wideouts emerge from the program over the years. Smith is going to be the next big-name wide receiver to watch out for in the upcoming 2026 season as he returns to the Buckeyes lineup. Smith caught 87 receptions for 1,243 yards, scored 12 touchdowns, rushed for 21 yards on 3 carries, and scored a rushing touchdown to add to his resume. Despite suffering a quad injury in November of the 2025 season, Smith will be healthy and 100% ready to roll in the Buckeyes offense for the 2026 season, causing havoc against opposing secondaries like he did in 2025 and 2024. Clips have already emerged of Smith looking even stronger and faster for this upcoming season, as he'll make opposing secondaries fear what he has in store for them, especially during conference play against some of the Big Ten's top defenses. That should make NFL scouts drool for wanting to draft him to a team desperately needing that effective pass catcher to complement their quarterback for the 2027 NFL season. Darien Mensah, quarterback, Miami. After dealing with some NIL drama behind the scenes, Mensah's transfer to the Miami Hurricanes will be a great addition to the team's offense for the 2026 season. Mensah's coming off a 2025 season where he completed 334 passes for 3,973 yards and threw 34 touchdowns against 6 interceptions during his lone season with the Duke Blue Devils. He also led the team to a 42-39 win over Arizona State in the Sun Bowl. Mensah will be part of a Hurricanes team that almost led a comeback win over the Indiana Hoosiers in the 2026 College Football National Championship game. It's gonna elevate their offensive attack, making them that much more lethal. Mensah will work with Hurricanes wide receiver Malachi Toney and fellow Duke transfer Cooper Barkate, making for a more dangerous passing attack. We as football fans are looking forward to seeing this upgraded passing attack in action for the 2026 season. Mensah has all the talent and potential to take the Hurricanes offense very far in the 2026 season under head coach Mario Cristobal and defensive coordinator Shannon Dawson's system. Now don't be surprised if Mensah becomes a Heisman Trophy finalist and a potential first-round pick in the 2027 NFL Draft when the 2026 college football season is all said and done. Carter Smith, offensive tackle, Indiana. The defending college football national champions will have one of their best offensive linemen back in Bloomington, ready to protect newly transferred quarterback Josh Hoover from TCU. It started all 15 games for the Hoosiers during their magical run, becoming national champions over the Miami Hurricanes. Didn't allow a single sack against Fernando Mendoza, and is ranked as the best lineman in the Big Ten per Pro Football Focus. Returning for his senior season also bolsters the offensive line, which lost Pat Coogan and Khalil Benson to graduation and the 2026 NFL Draft. Smith is incredibly reliable and will continue to do wonders on the Hoosiers' offensive line for their title defense in the 2026 season. Smith has seniority, excellent leadership, and will help keep Indiana extremely competitive during the 2026 season. Smith is also the guy NFL scouts will keep their eyes on as they look for talent who will form a great offensive wall, making their quarterbacks feel comfortable in the 2027 season. Trust us, Smith is the real deal for incredible offensive tackle talent. Dylan Stewart, edge, South Carolina. Stewart returning to the Gamecocks defense is must-watch football for the upcoming 2026 season. He had 33 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 2 pass deflections, and 3 forced fumbles during the 2025 season. Stewart will be a mainstay on the Gamecocks defense as the team looks to improve upon its disastrous 4-8 record from the 2025 season, despite playing through a back injury. Stewart will be healthy and ready to cause havoc against opposing offenses in 2026, tearing it up in a fierce and competitive SEC thanks to the leadership that he'll be bringing to the team. Stewart is expected to be one of the nation's top pass rushers, as he's set to really cause some intense havoc against opposing SEC quarterbacks, despite his back injury. Scouts should be very impressed with his leadership, and then some, as they look to improve their defenses for the 2027 NFL season. Ryan Coleman Williams, wide receiver, Alabama. Williams, now gone by Coleman Williams, had a decent 2025 season, despite dealing with a concussion. Williams caught 49 receptions for 689 yards and scored 4 touchdowns with the Crimson Tide in 2025, and he helped them reach the 2025-2026 Rose Bowl in the college football playoffs, before losing to the eventual champion Indiana Hoosiers 38-3. Coleman Williams returning to the Tide helps with their offense, as he'll be healthy and ready to square up against opposing secondaries for the 2026 season. Crimson Tide will either be led by Austin Mack or Keelan Russell, eyeing the starting quarterback job. Mack and Russell should work pretty well with Coleman Williams during the 2026 season. Scouts will have to keep their eyes on Cooper Williams' improvement, as the Crimson Tide offense is expected to have a competitive season and have a fast-paced look under head coach Kalen DeBoer and offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb. We are really looking forward to seeing this guy continue his development for the 2026 season. Colin Simmons, edge, Texas. Just like Arch Manning on offense, Simmons returning to the Longhorns on defense will make for some very exciting football to watch in Austin. Simmons had 43 tackles, a career-high 12 sacks, 2 pass deflections, 3 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery in the 2025 season. He is expected to be a dominant force on the Longhorns' pass rush, as his on-field maturity continues to increase. Simmons' goal for the 2026 season is to break the team's sack record, currently held by Kiki Diala with 40.5, and lead the SEC Conference in defensive productivity. Simmons currently has 21 sacks so far. He needs 20 more in order to break the record. Simmons had more penalties than sacks at the beginning of the 2025 season, but hey, with improvements under defensive coordinator Will Muschamp, Simmons should be able to clean that up just in time for the upcoming 2026 season. This will likely be Simmons' final season with the Longhorns, as his continued defensive performance will attract NFL scouts from far and wide looking to bolster their defenses for the 2027 NFL season. Dante Moore, quarterback, Oregon. Moore and the Oregon Ducks have had a very good 2025 season, finishing this season out with a 13-2 record. Moore completed 296 passes for 3,565 yards, threw 30 touchdowns against 10 interceptions. Even though Moore was expected to be a first-round draft pick in 2026, his decision to return to Oregon is great for the program, and his draft capital in a loaded quarterback class for the 2027 NFL Draft. Moore and the Oregon Ducks offense have their eyes set on a national championship or bust, as they look to further improve upon their 2025 season. After their college football semifinal beatdown loss against the Indiana Hoosiers, Moore will continue to work with running backs Jordan Davison and De'Aaron Hill on the ground, not to mention Moore will still have wide receivers Evan Stewart and DeCorian Moore to throw the ball to in the passing attack for more vertical shots instead of short passes. If Moore continues to shine on the field, he'll likely be a Heisman Trophy finalist and a top 10 pick in the 2027 NFL Draft. Cam Cook, running back, West Virginia. After a single season at Jacksonville State University, Cook announced his plans to transfer to West Virginia University and join the Mountaineers offense for the 2026 season. Cook rushed for 1,659 yards on 295 attempts, the most rushing yards in the country in 2025. Scored 16 rushing touchdowns and caught 30 receptions for 286 yards. Cook brings elite speed, vision, and a physical workhorse mentality to a Mountaineers offense that struggled in the Big 12, finishing the 2025 season with a 4-8 record and 2-7 in conference play. Cook's athleticism and speed should help the Mountaineers offense, which has a lot of work ahead of it before the start of the 2026 season. However, scouts shouldn't be too worried about the team around Cook, but rather just focus their attention on Cook's performance on the field during the season. Sure, the West Virginia Mountaineers aren't the flashiest program in college ball, but hey, they got talent, and Cook is expected to be the primary running back to open the 2026 season against Coastal Carolina. Analysts have mentioned that Cook is a perfect fit for West Virginia head coach Rich Rodriguez's system and schemes for the upcoming season. Cook also won the Conference USA Player of the Year award for his production in 2025. We cannot wait to see him potentially repeat that production in the Big 12 for the 2026 season. Omarian Miller, wide receiver, Arizona State. Miller stunned the college world by announcing his plans to transfer out of Colorado and take his talents to Arizona State for the 2026 season. Miller finished the 2025 season with 45 receptions for 808 yards and scored 8 touchdowns, which were career highs for him at the time. Miller now joins an Arizona State team that has former Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Hines Ward as their wide receiver coach. Miller should see a spike in production and stats under Ward's tutelage, even though the team is still looking for their next starting quarterback in the 2026 season. Sun Devils will prioritize a strong passing attack, which Miller will likely benefit from under offensive coordinator Marcus Ario. Miller should definitely excel in the Sun Devils offense and help improve upon their 2025 performance, and a fresh start after being on a Colorado Buffaloes team that finished the 2025 season with a 3-9 record. If Miller's stats and production increase in the 2026 season, then hey, look out for NFL teams wanting to select him in the first or early second round of the 2027 NFL Draft. But hey, which college football player will you have your eyes on for the 2026 season before the 2027 NFL Draft? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking the like button helps us out a ton, and you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.